Once upon a time, there were three beautiful girls. Two of them graduated from the police academy. The other graduated from a top school for models. And they each reaped the rewards of their exciting careers. But I took them away from all that, and now they work for me. My name is Charlie.
Why two from the police academy? One's a model. How do you know the model could do what the cops could do? I'm really confused. Jason, could each of the three angels have one specific thing? One was a model. One came from the police academy. One was a blank. Two from the police academy. It's like a weak script almost. What the hell? Thursday afternoon, 2 big hours coming your way. It's hot outside, but it's a regular New Orleans summer afternoon. Kinda. 96 feels like 99. 34% humidity. That's low humidity. I mean, lately, the last few weeks, this 99, 100, 101 crap feels like $1.15. You can have it. Feels about 15, 18, 20 degrees cooler than the last few weeks where it's just been oppressive heat. I mean, oppressive. You can't really do anything outside. You're like the Wicked Witch from the West, from The Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. It's like that hot. Now it's hot. I never thought I would appreciate the normal New Orleans ridiculously hot summer, but I appreciate it because of the last 2 weeks, because that was like being on Venus. That was crazy. Thank goodness for River City's Total Maintenance 4 o'clock hour, brought to you appropriately by River City's Total Maintenance. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys. They've been at it in South Louisiana for over 40 years with a sterling reputation. Probably the biggest air conditioning outfit in Metro New Orleans. About 35 trucks, 35 plus techs. That means 35 plus technicians, centuries of expertise. What's great about these guys, I like keeping things simple. It's air conditioning, for crying out loud. We want it to work all the time and blow cold, especially when it's hot as hell like right now. I don't want to learn about air conditioning, so I want honest people. I want air conditioning experts, not folks that are guessing what's wrong, trying to fix it, trying to diagnose it. I want it fixed right away, first time. And because I'm calling them, at the very least, it must not be working right. At worst, it's not working at all. I want them coming yesterday, coming immediately. River City's Total Maintenance, honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. You may not need them right now, next week, next month, this season at all. May not need them for years, but one day you're going to need the air conditioning experts at River City's Total Maintenance. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys, air conditioning experts that come right now. Easy to find them online, NOLAAC.com. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. 96, feels like 99 degrees, 34% humidity. Hey, the 4 o'clock hour brought to you by River City's Total Maintenance. Yeah, you right. Ed Michel, Office of Inspector General, City of New Orleans. Ed Michel will join us in about 10 minutes on the program. The latest and greatest, a review of the effectiveness of the recruiting procedure. So important. Staffing, recruiting, retention of the NOPD. Recruiting, effectiveness, the plan, how to go about doing it, how the NOPD is doing this. Are they bringing in the right folks? Are they able to keep these folks? So important. It's like the most important thing. I thought I saw something just in the last 36, 48 hours about more cops coming in than are leaving, like 51 coming in and only 36 leaving or something like that, like a net gain of 15 or 9 or 12. I forget what it was, but it was a gain of policemen. Now, one problem that really makes it tough, you're losing usually veteran cops that aren't green, that are experienced somewhat, if not very experienced, that know the city, know the beat, know the crime, know the trends. You're replacing them with ambitious young cops, which are great, but they're young, ambitious, green cops that don't have experience and don't know the trends in the neighborhoods and are learning on the fly and all that kind of stuff. And you got to have them. It's how the cycle works, but we really need to recruit. So recruiting, retention, the procedures in place, how effective are the procedures in place that the NOPD, that essentially the city of New Orleans is using to recruit cops. You see how refreshing this Office of Inspector General is? My God. You really have to have a whacked citizen out there, an Orleans Parish resident, black or white, Republican or Democrat, that is against this office when it's run right. If it's some political hack job, do nothing, Derry, Barry, whatever his name was. I mean, there's been some pretty weak inspector generals. Got to have like a Bob Sarasoli type. Ed Michel is like that. He's a bulldog. He's a pit bull. He's on the attack in a fair, honest, effective way, doing what he's supposed to be doing, reviewing government, how things are done in the city of New Orleans. Is it the best way? Are taxpayer dollars being spent effectively? Getting the most out of our taxpayer dollar. What, it's being stolen, it's being spent inefficiently. We need to know about that. It's not trust the people we elect. And it's not, we don't trust the people we elect. This is a watchdog built into government that's outside the bubble, independent funding source. Politicians can't mess with it. There's autonomy in this office. You Jefferson Parish folks, you got to work on your Office of Inspector General. If you care about Jefferson Parish and have pride, say, believe it or not, you want it just like the New Orleans office. Built-in budget, autonomy, politicians can't mess with the budget. No, Ed Michel is reviewing different entities of city government to make sure our money's being spent right. And everyone he reviews, they're just some egregious screw-ups. I mean, potholes. You just want to accept, hey, that's how it is and all. I accept it. 208 days instead of 15 like in the rest of America. Average time to fill a pothole. 15 days in the United States. 215 in New Orleans. I mean, it's crazy. So much inefficiency, ineffectiveness, waste, fraud, abuse. That's what the OIG is about. Embrace the office, especially when it's independent, apolitical. The agenda is us. Isn't that refreshing? No, question folks that act as if the OIG, the Metropolitan Crime Commission, like have some kind of an agenda. Watch those folks the closest. They're the ones that maybe have deviant behavior, covering up deviant behavior, or familiar with deviant behavior themselves, trying to justify deviant behavior they know of, have an agenda, very one-sided. No, thank God for Raphael Goyeneche and the Metropolitan Crime Commission in this town. Thank God for Ed Michel and the OIG. He's coming your way in a few minutes. Can't wait to, I mean, this is like, you're a New Orleanian. The OIG objective, fair review of the effectiveness of the procedures in place for the NOPD in the city of New Orleans on how they recruit cops and keep them. Staffing, recruitment, retention. I'd like to know how well that works, how well it doesn't work, what they do right, what they're not doing right, recommendations to fix it. Ed Michel's going to join us next. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Lebanon's Cafe is open right now. The dining room's air conditioned right now. I was there earlier today picking up a to-go order from Lebanon's Cafe. Little chicken shawarma, some tabbouleh, a fried football kibbe. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Yeah, I grabbed a to-go order. Air-conditioned dining room, open right now. They're open Wednesday through Monday. Tuesday's the only day they're closed. 11 a.m. till 9:30. Staying open late. Right on the streetcar line. Go get you some Lebanon's Cafe. I love Middle Eastern food. So good. Love Middle Eastern food. I'm Syrian, Lebanese. Half, 50%. My Situ grandmother, boy, she could cook. Coming right back with Ed Michel.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot. Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant you hear me talking about all the time. Way back in 1949, J.M. LaPere invented the shrimp peeling machine. Period. End of story. The machine that the entire world uses to peel shrimp. The industry standard. Then that led to the all-plastic modular conveyor belt used all around the world, these conveyor belts. First for the shrimp peeling machine, always improving that. And these conveyor belts now are like everywhere. And Anheuser-Busch, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, anything going down a conveyor belt in America, in the world, it's probably on an Intralox belt from New Orleans' own Latrim. A culture of innovation, and they're hiring East Bankers, West Bankers. They got you covered at their Elmwood facility. North Shore folks, Latrim has an I-12 facility just for you. And they're looking for you for a full listing of positions available, dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Inspector General, City of New Orleans, Ed Michel joins us on the program again. How are you, Ed? Always good to have you.
Hey, Corey. Thanks for having me on.
You know, I'm talking about hiring at Latrim. The NOPD are trying to hire. Your latest and greatest, what is it, a review on the effectiveness of the procedures in place by the NOPD, the City of New Orleans, of staffing, recruiting, retention of police officers? Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, this latest OIG report examined the trends in the New Orleans Police Department staffing levels, as well as the efforts of the NOPD to improve the recruitment and retention, and to determine whether or not their current initiatives are effectively designed and, consistent with best practices for the recruitment and retention of our police officers.
Man, Ed, I think it's a brilliant review. I wouldn't have even thought of that. What do you guys do? You sit around and try to figure out what are some of the biggest problems ailing New Orleans, and what authority you guys have and how you can use that to improve things. And I wouldn't have even thought of this, but it's brilliant. I mean, the NOPD, violent crime, losing cops, having problem in recruiting classes, having problem with attrition and retirement and cops moving to different places. Is the city doing a good job of trying to bring in, replacements and retain who they have? That's just who came up with that. And I think it's just smart.
Yeah. So when we look at the risk facing, the city, we have developed a risk-based module, and, the risk focus on the reputational risk of the city, the financial risk to the city, as well as the operational risk. And, this quite frankly falls in all three of those categories. The lack of a sufficient police force to ensure the public safety is such a significant threat facing the city, and it really requires an urgent response to improve officer recruitment and retention. Because quite frankly, the citizens of New Orleans deserve to be protected with a police force to keep them safe.
Yep. With the numbers way down, that's obvious. So you go into this review. What's best practices? How do you know what best practices are for a city or municipality when it comes to police staffing, recruitment, and retention?
Well, so when we write these reports and disseminate them, they are commensurate with the Association of Inspector General standards and qualifications of fact-based reports. So we do a tremendous amount of research. Our researchers here are very well educated. They're either certified Inspector General evaluators or auditors, which comply with the standards by the Association of Inspector Generals. They're highly educated and certified in the techniques to be able to provide an in-depth analysis to come to conclusions to ensure more efficiency and effectiveness. When you talk about numbers, so the size of our force declined to about 917 officers on April 30th of 2023. That is a 24% decrease in the number of officers that we had in 2018, which was about 1,200.
Wow. That's and from what I understand, it's below 900 today.
Well, so of that 917, you have about 72 officers that are either unavailable for duty or on limited duty. And, at the end of the day, the police department is an essential part of our critical infrastructure. They're actually an emergency services subsector portion, and their mission is to ensure the safety of our citizens and, the many visitors who travel here. Let's talk about budget for just a minute. The city's budget is considerably dependent on the revenue generated from tourism. Tourism requires an effective police force in order to thrive. In fact, police response times, both in non-emergency and emergency calls for service, have lengthened considerably in, the last few years as the number of police officers decrease. And major crimes against persons also climbed rapidly in mid-2020, and it remains higher than in previous years. So while there are many potential drivers for this increase in crime, the lack of sufficient staffing really does limit the ability of the NOPD's command structure to respond effectively to these challenges.
Ed Michel's with us, Inspector General, City of New Orleans, talking about the latest, a review of the effectiveness, the procedures in place that the NOPD, the City of New Orleans, does as far as recruiting police. So how are the procedures in place? I guess there's three ways to look at it, Ed. What was in place? What changes were made because of this sense of urgency? We've got to do better. And is there a place that they need to go?
Sure. So the first thing that I wanted to note was that in addition to these increased response times caused by the lack of police officers or fewer police officers on a street, the financial impact here related to the significant decrease in the officers is a very prevalent threat facing the city. So due to the large number of officers that have separated from the NOPD and the persistent failure to hire and retain enough police officers, that has created a financial burden on the city. So the Louisiana Municipal Police Employees Retirement System. You're talking
about the pension now, right?
Yeah. So the pension, which is also known as EMPERS, it's been partially dissolved due to the significant decrease in officers contributing to the plan. So the end result of that is now the city is required to pay a fine of about $50,000 per month. That fine increases to about $214,000 per month in July of 2024.
Wow.
So if the NOPD fails to improve its staffing levels, these fines could cost the city about $38 million over the next 15 years.
Where do they need to get it?
Well, they need to replace the ones that left, obviously, and they need to also ensure recruitment and retention. So without so many needs that are just not being met in the city now, spending $38 million in penalties is just not a judicious use of our limited resources.
38 million over 15 years. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. So it's about 38 million over 15 years. And this is, the persistent failure to hire and retain enough police officers this has created an ongoing financial burden for the taxpayers, as well as just a heightened public safety risk. So we found that NOPD has made some improvements, and I'll talk a little bit about what their improvements are, and I'll talk a little bit about what the suggestions that we are making going forward to ensure that they meet their goal and ensure the safety for the citizens of New Orleans. So some of the changes in policies that they've made in an attempt to reverse this trend are actually working. So NOPD and civil service have actually taken steps to increase the number of applicants and streamline the application process, which is good.
Yep.
These efforts include some personal outreach to prospective applicants, as well as building and bundling in-person application steps in a single day, and that will help with your out-of-town applicants who have to travel here to apply for the job. They're also conducting virtual as well as off-site medical and psychological examinations, and the pay increases and the bonuses that the city has initiated has ensured that its compensation plan is now competitive with that of other jurisdictions in a similar region. So they've also increased their use of civilian personnel to handle some of the responsibilities, giving officers more time to focus on law enforcement duties.
That's a really smart move, that last one. That's a good way to keep the boots on the ground. Hey, Ed, hold on 1 second. We're going to knock out a quick break. More with Ed Michel next.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Corey Johnson back at you. 96 degrees, feels like 99 on a Thursday afternoon. August, summertime in New Orleans continues. Ed Michel is with us. Office of Inspector General, City of New Orleans, talking about his latest, a review of the effectiveness of the procedures in place that the NOPD, the City of New Orleans, are using to recruit, retain policemen. NOPD, it's so important. Reportedly, the force now under 900 cops. Ed, you talked about kind of some improvements that seem like really smart moves. What else should they be doing? Do you guys have any recommendations on where they should go from here?
Sure. We came up with several recommendations, all of which the New Orleans Police Department advised that they would adopt and incorporate into their strategy to improve recruitment as well as retention. One of the things that we advised them to focus on was to strengthen their recruitment initiatives by carefully monitoring and analyzing the data that they already have to identify bottlenecks at points in which applicants, frequently fall out of the application process. But for instance, there are many applicants who apply who never actually take the test in the first place. And so they are now reaching out to these applicants that are falling through the cracks here and there to make sure that those who express an interest actually register for the test and actually take the test.
Nice.
We are suggesting that they solicit feedback from applicants and new recruits about both the application process as well as the instruction received during the training academy to identify any potential weaknesses within the recruitment and the training processes itself. We've also suggested that they should plan ahead for future civilian staffing needs by working with civil service as early as possible. Civil service has rules and procedures and policies in place, and some of those take some time to go through. So by planning ahead, they can actually alleviate some of the obstacles ahead of time. The department should also supplement the information from exit interviews along with feedback from the current officers that are already on the force, as well as retired officers who rejoin the force. And so what that will do is it'll enable them to have some feedback mechanisms designed, hopefully, so that the officers can give honest feedback without fear of retribution. And they should take that data and use every available resource point to improve officer retention, including supplementing those exit interviews and then using that information to develop impactful policies. And what I mean by that is that they should work with the external police organizations to address the concerns of their members, and actually acting on those concerns in the end could improve morale and the working environment for those officers. And that could go a long way in retaining the officers that you already have, because this police shortage is not going to be resolved with just recruitment or retention. They have to succeed at recruitment and retention to ensure that there's enough police officers in the city to protect the citizens as well as the many visitors that come here each year.
Ed, any final thoughts on the Office of Inspectors General review of the effectiveness of the procedures in place that the city and NOPD uses to bring in new cops?
Well, I mean, obviously, we have a vested interest in the success of the police department. Between May 2021 and April of 23, the NOPD lost 287 officers, and this has caused a problem with our safety. And this has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed immediately. We are committed to commenting on rules and regulations, and are authorized and charged with ensuring that we come up with mechanisms to prevent fraud, waste, abuse, and promote effectiveness and efficiency within city government. And that's what this report is designed to do. And I'm happy that the NOPD is going to follow our suggestions, and I'm wishing them much success, because this affects all of our safety.
I was saying before I had you on, I was talking about you. I was talking about Rafael Goyeneche. It's like entities like this. I mean, it's like, thank God, apolitical, looking out for us, on and on and on. Before we go on, Ed, what do you say to someone that says, yeah, Corey, they have an agenda. They do follow politics. And I'll tell you what, I'm not getting into any names, but there was a do nothing, I call him, it rhymed with his name, do nothing blank, an old inspector general in the city of New Orleans that did seem to be politically connected and more worried about the politicians than the citizens, and doing that job and that office, justice. What do you say to folks that, oh no, the Office of Inspector General does have an agenda, or they're slanted, or they're not independent? What do you say?
Well, our objective is to mitigate fraud, waste, and abuse. We are fortunate in that we report to an independent board appointed by the university presidents. So we are extremely independent and objective. In this last year with me as the interim, and this year with me as being permanently selected as the Inspector General, we've had a 400% increase in productivity, and we've identified over $3 million in cost savings to the city, and we're actually identifying more in cost savings than what the city funds us. So we're open for business. We have exponentially increased our productivity. I've doubled my staff this year. So we will continue to excel and make sure that the city of New Orleans is effective and efficient in any way that we can. And if anybody has any concerns or would like to send us some information about potential fraud, waste, abuse, or public corruption, we have a website. It's www.nolaoig.gov, and you can submit tips to us anonymously. Please remember, we are also on Twitter as well as Facebook, and we have a newly redesigned website which clearly articulates all of our successes. So I would welcome everyone to take a look at the new website, because it clearly identifies all of our successes.
Agreed. Yeah, I think anyone that's skeptical of what you guys do, they might have some problems themselves, deviant behavior, covering up for someone, something like that. No, it's a blessing you guys around. Proof's in the pudding. The NOPD embraces your suggestions and is going to implement them. Here's another example. We haven't had you on since then. this release, that second letter about the Pontalba apartment. Few days later, the city council tightens that up, has a vote that the mayor is now threatening to possibly veto that ordinance that the council passed. So the police embrace what you're talking about as far as this, effectiveness and retention of recruits for the NOPD, and the city council sees your second letter and reacts by tightening up the ordinance on the Pontalba apartment. So obviously these city entities are embracing your suggestions and welcoming your suggestions.
Yes. We are happy to work with city government and identify efficiencies where and when we can to ensure that the quality of life is where it needs to be for our citizens. We're going to be releasing another report on Monday about the Plaza Tower.
Nice.
And the enforcement of the minimum property maintenance code by the city to ensure the safety for not only our citizens but our visitors as well. And that report's going to be very eye-opening as well.
And that's going to be released on Monday?
Yes.
On the Plaza correct. Tower. Anything else in the pipeline you can mention or no at this time?
Well, so yeah, we have several reports that are coming up. I can't really talk about them, but within the next 60 days, there's going to be a significant amount of reports, and probably within the next couple of days, I'm going to be releasing my annual work plan, which is a risk-based audit and evaluation work plan, which will cover the period for the next year. And it's designed to give us the ability to identify and mitigate very large threats facing the city. So that's going to be an interesting read.
Ed, always a pleasure. How can folks get to your website, find out more about the Office of Inspector General, or report fraud, waste, or abuse?
Yep, sure. It's www.nolaoig.gov. And like I said, it's a newly redesigned website. It is clearly identifies all of our latest successes. And if anyone would like to report fraud, waste, abuse, or corruption, they simply click the button that says report fraud, waste, or abuse. And like I said, they can give us information, and they can also give us information in an anonymous fashion as well. So if you know anything that's going on that you think we should know about, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
NOLA.OIG.gov?
Yes.
NOLA.OIG.gov. Ed, Michel, a pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate yours. That's Ed Michel, Inspector General, City of New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Don't move.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here, and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring, and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
You can say anything you please about me, but don't say anything bad about Blue Boy.
Down, Blue Boy. Good buddy. Oh, yeah. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning has been part of New Orleans since before World War II, since 1940. 83 years of excellence, truly a New Orleans institution. If you're tired of your dry cleaner or you just want to experience the best in the business, Young's Dry Cleaning. YoungsDryCleaning.com. The best in the business. YoungsDryCleaning.com. YoungsDryCleaning.com. It's hot out there. 96 feels like 99. A lot less heat than that oppressive stuff we've had the last 2 weeks. I know that ridiculously oppressive heat. I mean, bad on all of us. It's not normal. Jeff Dorson, the Humane Society of Louisiana. Summertime in New Orleans is tough to begin with. Just like us, dealing with the heat and the humidity. You take it up a few levels, like the last few weeks, even hotter, more dangerous conditions for animals suffering outside, even dying. Just not right. No, it's really got the Humane Society of Louisiana moving around a lot lately because of this intense heat. Jeff Dorson joins us on the program again. What's happening, Jeff?
Yeah, you got that right about the heat and animals. They don't go together. We have had some fatalities, not their fault, because the neglected owners put them outside in a small kennel in direct light. And of course, what's going to happen? So it's very heartbreaking. It's all common sense. Please don't do that. I even had somebody go park in their car with their dog inside in this heat. It's like, are you kidding me? It must be 200 degrees in there. And then they have, an attitude when I mentioned that your dog's going to die, sir. So he flips me the bird and drives away. So it's all very difficult. It doesn't have to be. Just be nice and kind and considerate, and that would take care of a lot of these problems.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think humans just the dog can handle more stress, more pain. The concrete might be burning my feet, but the dog can handle it. I'm running in the heat. I like running. It's what I want to do as a human, stay in shape. The dog's a dog. Some dogs want to run. Some dogs don't want to run in the heat. So you running your 4-mile run and you think your dog just naturally can keep up in this heat. Maybe not. There's a reason he's running ahead and getting in the shade and running ahead and getting in the shade. I mean, so those kind of things, leaving a dog chained up outside, it's not an alarm. It's an animal. No, if you can't handle the heat, the direct sunlight, it's hard on you. You think your dog can handle it? So it's common sense. Another thing that no pun intended or pun intended that burns me up, folks that have dogs in New Orleans and refuse to bring them inside when the heat's like this, refuse to bring them into the air conditioning. The shade in the garage is all right. Spots handled it year in, year out. All right. Just not right. I mean, dogs need to come inside, outside. I mean, I have a dog and it's an outdoor dog. That just doesn't really work. It doesn't work right. There you go. See, that dog agrees.
Yep, he was agreeing with you.
Yep. Smart dog. What else is happening, Jeff?
Well, meetings after meetings. They're important because we're trying to go around the state where there are no services, which is hard to believe in this day and age, but it's true.
Yep, we saw the Simsport crap in Avoyles. That was embarrassing, the Simsport stuff in Avoyles Parish.
Yep. Yeah, some of the shelters that are up and running shouldn't be. They're just a bunch of 2x4s and wire kennels that are rusted, thrown together at the edge of town, usually by the sewer plant where nobody's paying any attention. And that's where they house their stray animals.
Pathetic.
Well, we're doing our very best to have these meetings with rescue groups, humane societies, all the stakeholders, the sheriff, the chief of police, and of course the elected officials, the administrators saying, come on, we can do better, but we all have to pay attention and put and work together, get some funding from the state or a federal grant for a construction of a basic shelter. What lacks is just the motivation and vision. It's just so easy to say we can't, we never have, we probably never will, there's no money. Well, you know what? That gets us where we are, last in everything, which is what you always remind your listeners. We can do better.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they put that Simsport of Avoyles Parish, it's not even any kind of a pound or anything. It's a bunch of pieces of wood with some tin and even blue tarp roof and some kennels underneath. It's embarrassing. Mm-hmm. It's like a hodgepodge homeless encampment. It looks like something they strung together at Woodstock. And after the concert, that was left behind. I mean, I'm serious. Right. It's a joke. How's the container thing going? The converting the shipping containers into a air-conditioned, heated, climate-controlled little, kind of kennel-type place for dogs.
Well, it's still in the blueprint phase. It only costs about $20,000 to get it up and running. And believe it or not, that's actually hard to raise that money for that. So we're writing all the Saints players and the Pelicans. They have $20,000 lying around.
Exactly. Donate a kennel that's ready to go, $25 grand to get it all set up. Where building a building on a slab cinder block building for some kind of animal control is going to be 50, 70, 80, 100 grand or more.
Yeah,
so
for sure,
that's a no-brainer. That's a brilliant idea. Get folks to sponsor it, athletes, and knock them all out. Let's work on that. I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, the letters go out next week. We reached out to Mrs. Benson to see if she'd like to chip in as well.
That's great. Blue Boy loves the idea. Jeff, thank you.
next week, brother. Thank you.
HumaneLA.org. Donate right now. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Do
You're
it.
on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
This song is so upbeat. You think they'd be like young, active, thin people running around. Instead, it's for Cannon. A guy about the size of the Jefferson Parish water tower.
William Conrad.
William Conrad literally is the size of the Jefferson Parish water tower.
Special guest star
At Causeway and I-10. He's that large.
Tonight's episode, Catch Me If You Can.
A baby crawling could catch you. Grandma with the walker rolling the oxygen tank next to the walker could catch you. You're Cannon. You're William Conrad. The show after Cannon that you starred in was called Jake and the Fat Man, and you weren't Jake. Did I mention the Jefferson Parish water tower at I-10 and Causeway? They shouldn't paint it blue and white. Just make it William Conrad. Cannon. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. 96 degrees feels like 99, like normal summer. Isn't that crazy? Wow, you can really embrace this 96 feels like 99. You really can, because it's about 20 degrees, feels like cooler than just a few short days ago, and that went for about 2 weeks straight. That was insane. That 2-week run was absolutely crazy. The 97, 98, 99 gimmick. Well, it's supposed to come back over the weekend. Might come back again late next week. I don't sit there and embrace the 10-day forecast, but the 10-day forecast today was like a 3-day forecast 20 years ago. They're much, much, much better. The 3-day forecast is like a 1-day forecast. And I mean, just they're much improved. They're super hyper accurate. Or the other way around, a 1-day forecast a decade, 20 years ago is a 3 or 5-day today. They just know what they're doing much better. They're nailing the science down and funneling it down better and better every day, more accurate. Still not perfect. It's not an exact science. You're predicting the weather based off of patterns in history and computer models and all that kind of stuff. You know how that works. Someone could drop a pebble in a lake, Jason, and the little rippling effect in the wind change the entire planets. All right, let's move on from that. Timothy Leary with you till 5 p.m. Peace out, bro. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. That's how you can dial us up. These are sort of difficult, I guess. Pseudo difficult trivia questions. Largest indoor concert ever. Largest indoor concert ever. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. The flagship, Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City, New Orleans. That place is like a luxury, kind of just luxurious private club. It's like a luxury suite after suite after suite after suite. Just a really first-class facility. the Woodhouse, Canal Street at Carrollton, and almost an exact duplication, plush, first class, luxurious, the Woodhouse in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental at West Esplanade, minutes down West Esplanade for you North Kenner folks, minutes away. Equally as nice, the brand new Mandeville location, maybe obviously the newest, maybe one of the nicer ones. They're all damn nice. So plush and luxurious. Mandeville is open. East Causeway approach, right across the street from Mandeville City Hall, about 2 minutes from Trayen. Slidell's location, about 60 seconds off of the Gauze I-10 exit. They're by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. Check them out online. Virtual tour. Print your own gift certificates. Guys, an unexpected gift to the Woodhouse Day Spa, what she wants. An unexpected gift is a home run. WoodhouseSpas.com. You can print it while you're at work. WoodhouseSpas.com. Yeah, I've got 50 big bucks. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa, one of the 5 area locations. Largest indoor concert ever. Hey, by the way, you don't go to Google or Yahoo, largest indoor concert ever. That's cheating. You either know the answer or you don't. No Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Bing, none of that. No intranet device, no search engines. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-984-80. 766-984-80. I guess 3 big things we've been talking about the last 3 days. Tulane with their new indoor football facility being built on campus. The city, it's big news. Bayou Phoenix, we're ready to start negotiating the lease. It's like mind-blowing. It's nearly 2 years later. And then Bayou Phoenix folks are like, hey, in 4 years, your kid will be kicking the soccer ball around. Yeah, kids that aren't born yet, it's 4 years away. My God, just so long. So typical city of New Orleans, just, my God. I told you, the Buc-ee's on the I-10 in Mississippi will be open. The Buc-ee's will be open for business before they move a shovel of dirt at the Six Flags site. Mark my words. I'm already on it where I said when the announcement was made about Bayou Phoenix in the city, I was like, within a year, they will not have done anything. It's almost 2 years now. Almost 2 years now. Ed Michel joined us earlier last hour, 4 o'clock hour, for a good 25 minutes. Inspector General, City of New Orleans. There's so many important things about an Office of Inspector General. Making sure that corruption, fraud, abuse in city government doesn't exist. Looking out for us, the taxpayers. Making for sure our taxpayer money is being spent efficiently. And Edwin Edwards type, John Ilario types, they would have hated an OIG on them, scrutinizing how they're spending money. Are you kidding me? No, so it's so key. It's so important. Then you need one that's smart and knows what to go after. I wouldn't have even thought about this, but it's in their purview. It's in their realm of, their realm. It's in their, wheelhouse. Reviewing the effectiveness of the procedures in place that the city of New Orleans and the NOPD have for recruiting and retaining NOPD officers. That is a brilliant review. Brilliant. That is exactly what you want with the OIG. I talk about this all the time. Scrutinizing city government, city entities, city agencies, not going in there and busting their chops, auditing them, reviewing them, making sure they got their you-know-what together. There's a plan. They're not wasting money. They're not stealing money. Who can be against that? There are people that are against it because they're the ones that are deviant. They're the ones with baggage. They're the ones that think in a deviant way. Of course they don't want an OIG running around, scrutinizing how they do things, seeing how they have no bookkeeping, how they're inefficient, ineffective, how they're stealing, how they're corrupt, how they're criminal. No, thank God. What a brilliant review. Review the effectiveness of the procedures in place that the city of New Orleans and the NOPD use to recruit and retain cops. It's one of our biggest problems. No, and they reviewed it, what they used to do, the changes they made that the IG acknowledged were great changes, and then a few more things that they could do to get it even better. And the NOPD's like, and the city, great, we'll do that. I mean, it proves it's an effective office. A few weeks ago, that second letter about the Pontalba apartment, within 48 hours, the council's voting to tighten up the ordinance so the mayor can't live there. The mayor's threatening to veto that. No, the Office of Inspector General, so key for the city of New Orleans. Today, right now, a good time to paint. You can still go get that paint from Helm. They're open 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. They'll bring it to you. Free delivery within 2 hours. Right to the job site so you can keep working. Pick your Benjamin Moore colors online. Call one of the 7 Helm paint locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They'll bring it right to you. Knock out that paint project. Do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. Corey Johnson with you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, hey, what can I do to give you a hand? And he said, well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place. So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Hey, are you on the causeway right now, heading north, heading towards Treyen and Mandeville? It's Thursday. Why don't you fire in a big to-go order? Pick that bad boy up right in front. Curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your car. The only finger you're lifting is to hand them some cash or the credit card, which they walk that little credit card machine, the handheld, right out to your car. Curbside delivery. Don't forget the Tung Cho sauce, Treyen and Mandeville. Hey, of course, dine in. You North Shore folks, they're at the foot of the causeway. You South Shore folks, you know the drill by now. 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. Experience it tonight. Treyen and Mandeville. So good. I'd say put the convertible top down or roll down the windows, but don't do that. It's not as hot as it's been the last 2 weeks, although that's coming back this weekend. 96 feels like 99. Only 34% humidity. That is key. But it's, it's hot New Orleans summer right now. The typical one, not that crap we had the last 2 weeks, which pretty much threw everybody off kilter. That stuff was oppressive. That feels like temperature of 10, 15, even 20 degrees hotter than normal. When it feels like 115, 118. Feels like 97, 98 right now. That's a 20-degree difference. The feels like. The thermometer temperature could be anywhere from 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees hotter. Anyway, whatever that threshold is, we're used to it. We deal with it. We're used to low to mid 90s in temperature, feels like high 90s, and that's it. Temperatures in the high 90s, 100, feels like $1.15, $1.20. We're not used to that around here at all, and that's oppressive heat, and it makes you sort of appreciate just our regular oppressive summer heat. Wow, if that makes any sense. I think Leidenheimer could just bring the dough outside and the bread would bake outside some of these days. I'm telling you. Leidenheimer Baking Company has been doing it in New Orleans since 1896. Over 125 years. Fifth generation family owned and operated. They still bake that Leidenheimer French bread right here. The finest restaurants still serving that Leidenheimer French bread. The best po' boys, Leidenheimer French bread. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Still trying to get that train New Orleans to Baton Rouge going. I don't really see any negative in that at all. Train service, New Orleans to Baton Rouge. The only problem with train service in America, especially compared to Europe and Asia, we don't have that bullet train technology. The average Amtrak that's, going across the country maybe hits 90 miles an hour, 80, 90 miles an hour. What's the one on the East Coast, the DC, New York, Boston one? It's got a little different name. I think that one does like 130 or something like that. basically, it's like we have, like a minivan or something, an SUV that can do like 80. And then we kind of trick it out and it can do like 130. And in Europe and Japan, the minivan or the SUV does 400 miles an hour safely. No, we've just never, ever embraced that technology for some reason. And Europe and Asia have. Other first world countries and even some sort of second world countries have embraced that bullet train technology. And I don't know why we haven't here in the United States. Because in a lot of instances, I mean, I'm going to go to the airport to go to Dallas or Houston or Atlanta or Nashville or Jacksonville or, I could get on a bullet train and be there in a few hours. Could you imagine getting on a bullet train in downtown New Orleans and it pulls into like Disney World in Orlando in 2 hours because it does 400 miles an hour or whatever? Or be in Dallas in, an hour and 15 minutes, or Houston in an hour? And not flying? I don't know. We kind of missed that in the United States. I don't know why. And I still think there's a place for the regular non-bullet type train. That's another thing. I don't get why these trains aren't like, seems like you could have like cars sponsored. Like hotels could sponsor cars and make it plush like the hotel. A restaurant could sponsor a car. So it's, Emerald, the chef, that's his menu on that car. A bar, Maple Leaf with live music. I just don't get that. You could to get another engine. You can add X amount of cars you're pulling. It's all on the rail. Old train travel, the European slow stuff, the Asian slow stuff seems appealing. And the bullet train stuff for commuting and getting around quick seems appealing. And we seem to not have either one. But I guess we move cargo really effectively by train. We're good at that. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Largest indoor concert ever. Largest indoor concert ever. I was kind of blown away just that Taylor Swift sold 150,000 plus tickets. Maybe more. It's north of 150,000. 3 sold-out Superdome shows in a row. 3 nights in a row, 3 sold-out shows, sold out within a few hours of the tickets becoming available. Knocked back 150,000 plus in ticket sales, Taylor Swift. Largest indoor concert ever. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. No cheating. No intranet device. No search engines. No Google or DuckDuckGo. None of that. You either know the answer or you don't on this Thursday afternoon. Largest indoor concert ever. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. If you have the answer, I got $50 good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. 766-9480. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now? Katie's in Mid-City. Scott Craig, the owner, operator, head chef of Katie's. More is better. More of the good things. It's a good time at Katie's. Lots of New Orleans characters, New Orleans specialties, old school, big portions, more of that. Great for sharing. And speaking of more, Scott Craig doesn't just have Katie's in Mid-City, the legendary New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. He's got Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. For you old-timers, you folks from the olden days, I fall into that category, I guess. I remember Charlie's Deli on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. It's in the old Charlie's Deli location. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria. about 15 different specialty sandwiches to choose from off the menu, 15. Or build your own sandwich. It's a deli. Pick the bread, pick the meat, the dressing, the cheese, the extras. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. Katie's and Francesca Deli have the same pizza oven, same pizza dough, toppings, really high quality pizza. I would not tell you can go to Katie's or Francesca Deli and Pizzeria and get the pizza and it's mediocre. Boy, Corey was pushing the pizza. I went there with high expectations and it was mediocre at best. It's not happening. It's going to be very good to great to excellent. You're going to like it a lot, I promise you. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria and Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480. Looking for the largest indoor concert ever. If you got answers, I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Did you enjoy yesterday's weather? Yesterday morning was incredible. Temperatures in the high 70s on the South Shore, low humidity. It was just refreshing, almost cool and crisp, almost. It was like, wow, fall. And then, today a little warmer. This is sort of our typical day. But boy, I mean, we go back to Tuesday. It was 101 degrees in New Orleans, feeling like 118. 96 feels like 99. I'll take it all day long. Hey, let's hit the phone lines. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. We're heading to the capital city, Baton Rouge, Tiger Town, Red Stick. About 80 clicks up the I-10. Tim joins us. What's happening, Tim?
Corey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm originally from New Orleans.
What you doing in BR?
Because of Katrina. Yeah, I miss home. I miss home. How you been doing?
Doing well. You're misplaced, displaced now for 17, 18 years?
Yeah.
Wow. You must like Baton Rouge then if you're staying.
I stayed. I was younger with my mom. That's why I stayed. But I try to get down in New Orleans. But anyway, let me just get to the point. I have two. I don't know if a lot of people hold two. I agree about the public transportation. It's the very shame that we don't have that here. At least the East Coast has high-speed rail in California, but they'll call it socialist and everything. That's stupid.
Well, I don't think California's got high-speed rail. The only thing I know of is that Amtrak from like D.C. through, I guess, Philly, New York, and Boston. I forget what it's called.
Not good. So it could be better. The rail system in the United States could be better, yeah.
Got rail everywhere. You think we could, but I mean, you'd have to build new stuff for this maglev or bullet train. It's not the same type of concept, but we haven't embraced it at all. Nothing in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. Let me say this. Another thing also about the conference realignment. It seems like, I don't know about you, but I'm not really like 100% bought. I'm not a big fan of super conferences. I think that while they have revenue sharing within the conference, while they should have the NCAA should mandate revenue sharing. That'd be better. Like they have it in NFL and NBA. It's like that will put a halt to all this trying to get somebody else.
Well, the problem, Tim. I mean. First off, the athletic model in the NCAA, it's not a profit maker. It's like, the post office or bridges, and those aren't profit makers. They're just sort of necessary to make a complete college experience. You want student athletes. You want sports programs. These are young kids, 18 to 23. So it's a natural thing. I think they're about, I'm going to say about 36 programs out of 300 plus. So maybe 10%, 1 out of 10 at best, athletic programs in college that make money, that actually make a profit. And it's ones that have powerful football programs. They make the 90% of the money. Some of them have basketball programs that make money. A handful now, like LSU, have baseball programs that make money. I bet you this year, Sue Gunter, Kim Mulkey, and the LSU Lady Tigers, with all those ticket sales, with the national championship, I bet it was like a break-even financial year. Maybe made a little money, maybe lost a little money. But I guarantee it's not like, oh, no, Corey, they made millions and millions and millions of dollars. So it's a precarious thing. You can't have just across-the-board revenue sharing where a school that just participates in sports and doesn't put any money into it is going to get a share from the big-time programs. But I'll say this, Tim, the SEC – they're the one of the big dogs. They don't really have to worry about what the big 10, 12, 14, 16, whatever those conferences do. They don't have to worry about the lesser ACC or Pac 10, 12, 14 or Mountain West or AAC. But they're adding, they're getting stronger with Texas and Oklahoma. They may add more schools, the SEC. Who knows? But I think it's going to be, sadly, like 3 or 4 mega conferences that make up the bulk of college sports and bowl games and all that kind of stuff.
I'm not, because I like the Pac-10, live in the South, and that's kind of disappointing that, you got, like, that there's going to be no more. And another thing, Cal, they're trying to get Cal and Stanford in the ACC, which is ridiculous. I mean,
it's amazing that no one's really wanting them, and it's like Cal and Stanford, I mean, you get the north side of the bay, the south side of the bay. You got everything covered. You got San Francisco. It's kind of mind blowing that's probably that metro area of San Jose and San Fran and Oakland. It's probably like 4th, 5th in America, and no one seems to want. I guess because they don't have rabid sports teams. I guess so. Yeah, in a selfish way, Tim, and it's because of Tulane, the ACC, there's talk that Florida State might want to leave the ACC. That would drop them to 14 teams. I mean, I hate even saying this because I don't want to be critical of the American Athletic Conference, but the ACC, that conference with those brainiac schools, like UVA and North Carolina and Duke and Wake Forest, they could get Tulane and New Orleans. But bigger than that would be Rice and Houston, SMU and Dallas, and Philadelphia with Temple. And they're all academic schools, and it fits the Atlantic Coast Conference model of mostly academic. They've dropped the ball a little bit lately with some additions, but I'd love to see Tulane go to one of those conferences. But who knows? Maybe the American Athletic hooks up with the Mountain West or what's left of the Pac-12 and does something. So who knows, Tim?
Yeah, why is it that we have these mega conferences? All these teams going to play each other. I'm just not a big fan of 16, 20 teams. I mean,
no, I hear you. Hey, Tim in Baton Rouge, thanks for the phone call. A lot of folks don't like that. I think in the lesser sports, not football, the non-power 4, 5, whatever it becomes, they'll still be able to get it done. Football is going to be a lot tougher. Football is definitely going to be a lot tougher. Tim in Baton Rouge, thanks for checking out the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Yeah, you're right. Hey, every day, this program on radio, on television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube right now, 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of it's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of the big store, Lamarck Ford, #1 Ford dealership in the region. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park in the big store, nearly 50 years. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway, across the parish from the Lamarck Automotive Complex. For decades and generations, the legendary New Orleans Ford truck dealership. They used to be right at the parish line where that Lowe's is on Jefferson Highway. Then they moved down Jefferson Highway, their present location in Elmwood, in Harahan. Brand new state-of-the-art facility. I say brand new, about 6-8 years old. It's now under the Lamarck umbrella. That's right. Ronnie Lamarck and the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Ronnie Jr. acquiring Lamarck Crescent City Ford, the legendary Ford truck and SUV dealership. You know, the Mustang is the only car Ford makes. You want a Mustang? You go to the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Every other Ford vehicle available in Kenner at the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now at Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway, plus servicing all Ford vehicles at Lamarck Crescent City Ford. And yes, like I said, the legendary truck dealership, commercial folks, fleet folks, folks that need a vehicle for work. They've got all those Ford vehicles for you at Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get quality education and also be a great football player. You know, you got to have focus.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. It was a dime for a person who came up to me after the game. I had tickets in the old Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And letting that's good that we were able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll A.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The trumpet's an easy instrument to imitate, huh? You just kind of stick your thumb by your lips and push your fingers up and down. The saxophone, put the thumb by the lip like you do on the trumpet, but then take the other thumb and put it by your elbow and then work both, and that's a sax. More musical instrument fun with your arms and hands next on Corey's Funhouse. Hey, if you're beelining home from work, chances are you're going to drive right by a Rouse's Market. You want to know why? There are over 60 Rouse's. You see this one they're opening down in Cajun Country, home of Thibodeau, with the drive-through fried chicken? Brand new Rouse's with a drive-through on the side? That is really brilliant, because Rouse's has really good fried chicken. Piping hot, drive right up. Don't even have to go in the Rouse's to get it. Holy smokes. Always cutting edge. I like Rouse's. Boy, have you been in like the old Metairie Rouse's? I call it the old Metairie Rouse's, sort of. It's Airline near LeBar. Airline at Causeway almost. They totally redid that store. It's like brand new, state-of-the-art, totally plush. And what I like about it, it's got a lot of stuff geared towards, I guess, that affluent old Metairie crowd. Even maybe a few more prime steaks and strips and fillets and things like that. Now, I love going to all the different Rouse's locations. I've got 3 of them within about 10 minutes of my house, and the closest one's about 5 minutes from my house. So, yeah, driving home from work, you'll either pass a Rouse's or 2. Easy, convenient. Rouse's Market tastes like home. New Orleans and South Louisiana's grocery. What did I say? 60-plus Rouse's, 20-plus. Like a third of all Rouse's are in Metro New Orleans. 1/3. Wow. Wow. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday, 96 degrees. That was when we started the program. I'm assuming it's about 94 now, maybe? Something like that, if I had to guess. Wow, still 96. That's harsh. It's been 96 degrees for like 3 hours straight now. 96 degrees. Still feels like 99. Wow, steady Eddie. The good thing yesterday, today, not so brutal. But this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the highs, 98, 99. Next week, middle of the week, the highs, 99, 100, 101 even. Those are the predictions, 10 days out, weather.com and the like. Anyway, yeah, when it gets that hot, when it is oppressive heat, where it's dangerous, because like 2 days ago, for instance, it was 101, so only 5 degrees on the thermometer hotter. 96 degrees today, 101 on Tuesday, 48 hours ago. The feels like temperature right now, 3 degrees hotter than the temperature. Temperature 96, feels like 99. 2 days ago, temperature 101, feels like 118. So that is 17 degrees hotter than the temperature and 19 degrees hotter than the temperature today. That's just crazy. 118 feels like is 99. That's 19 degrees hotter. Feels like. That's like a level or 2 or 3 levels hotter. You know, hey, it was in the high 80s today. Hey, it was in the low to mid 90s. Hey, it was in the high 90s. That's like 3 levels. Feels like 118. It's like another 3 levels. Dangerous. No, get folks that are vulnerable, that have health issues, the elderly, those that don't have air conditioning. Get them in air conditioning in the middle of the day, starting like about 9:30 or 10 till like at least right now. And it's easy to do. You can go to the library or the community center. You can go to a fast food restaurant and eat inside. You can go to a nicer restaurant, eat inside. You can go grocery shopping, knock out grocery shopping at a Rouse's, comfortable, air conditioned. Go to Lakeside Mall or another mall, air conditioned. Pretty easy. Easy to get in air conditioning. But we need to help folks that have a car, getting these folks that are vulnerable in your car with air conditioning when you pick them up. Now, if they don't have air conditioning at their house and they're elderly, they have health issues, they're vulnerable, step up and go help those people that you know that are in those conditions and get them in air conditioning during the day and have bottled water ready to go. Stay hydrated. That's key. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Fausto's opened up their doors at 5 o'clock. They'll roll till 9 p.m. tonight on a Thursday. Hey, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday night, they go 5 till 10 for dinner. So good. New Orleans-inspired Sicilian and Italian. Fausto, that's Fausto and his brother Roland. Their sister is Irene from Irene's Restaurant in the Quarter. This is the first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking. Go experience it tonight. So easy. Parking right in front. Great service. Great air-conditioned dining room. Sit at the bar. Check out some sports action on the tube. New Orleans-inspired Sicilian and Italian tonight for dinner till 9 p.m. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The meters from 50 plus years ago, 55 years ago. 55 years ago. The meters, before they were the funky meters. No Cyril Neville, it was Modalisti on the drums and George Porter on bass. Zigaboo Modalisti on drums, George Porter on bass, Leo Nocentelli on guitar, and Art Neville on the keyboards. Wow, the meters. They were really good. Those late 60s albums, go get those CDs. Go pull that up on YouTube. Just good stuff. Every tune over and over. And you just put those 2 CDs on and just roll with it. Albums, CDs. What would you call a collection of music today? Someone that releases like 8 or 10, 12 songs at once. Still an album or a CD? It's a compilation. I have my newest compilation. Pick it up on Weezer.org. On music, but we spell it with a K. Oh, boy. What was that first thing that I loaded down music for free and then it got outlawed? What was that, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago? Napster? Yeah. Clip. Dude, I got 25,000 songs downloaded from that. No, you don't. Not anymore. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. You know what that means? What, Blue Boy? Oh, no. Fletcher Mackel tomorrow? Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans Inc. Talking food with Frank Brightson, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Always a good time. Hey, thanks for checking us out. See you tomorrow. Stay hydrated.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.